connected now, so we good. Um, yo, man, I'm excited today, man. Got the legend today, um, Keith K. Banger. So yeah, that's what's up. Still, yeah.
Yes, sir.
I
Peace, 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 peace,
much love, sir. How are you?
peace, peace. I'm telling my friends that I'm jumping on now.
For sure.
Peace, my brother.
How are you, my brother?
Yes, sir. Where are you from?
I'm in South Africa, Johannesburg.
Wow.
Yeah,
I had a feeling. Yeah.
yeah.
Peace, peace,
For sure,
peace.
man.
I'll let you go
It's an
ahead and
honor.
I'll let you go ahead and do your intro and everything. I just sent my invite. I got some good
Yeah,
friends.
already.
I got some good friends show up in here.
For sure.
Yes, the Goat
Yeah, I've
Squad.
already done the intro and stuff.
Okay, all right,
Yeah,
yeah, but I mean,
for
I heard
sure,
that,
for
you can
sure.
go back to what you were doing. I got my little notes
Yeah,
here.
yeah, yeah.
Um, I was, yeah,
Let me just notify everyone that's watching then.
okay. And listen, man, you were. I heard you playing a classic over there, bro.
Yeah.
Whoa, you have, woo! Shout out to
Yeah,
Supreme
uh,
Sounds, Balance
yeah.
Project. What up, Goat Squad? What
I've been
up? Oh,
I've been
we
playing it
we in
since
Africa
Monday.
right now, bro.
That's what's up. We're connecting.
We here. Let's go.
Yeah, that's what's up.
Yes,
So
sir.
hey guys, welcome to Hip Hop Nation TV, South Africa. I'm popularly known as Ecliptic. So yeah, I'm specifically in the south side of Johannesburg. So yeah, it's an honor to have you
Very
guys.
honored, man. Very
Keith,
honored to be in contact with you,
Keith,
brother.
man, thank you so much for making so much time, this time for me.
Yes, sir. I appreciate you reaching out as
For sure.
well. Definitely. Yes,
Peace.
sir.
So yeah,
Peace.
man, just introduce yourself and tell us who Keith is.
Yes, sir. Well, I like that you call me Keith, man. I enjoy that because K Banger, which I'm known as, is not.
Yeah,
It's a sobriquet.
yeah,
That's what I'm called. I never really called myself that.
yeah.
It was a name that my brother Triple Beam made up in a song, and I was playing drums in the band at the time, and the people just started calling me that. So, I'm born and raised in Perth Amboy, New Jersey, from Trinidad and Tobago immigrants, first American born in the States, and that's the long and short of it. I don't. Whatever else you want to know, you're gonna have to ask me because I got too much history to even
For sure. So
dig for you to tell you what you want to know. If it's
for sure.
reasonable, if it's reasonable, only if it's reasonable.
Cool. I hear you.
Yes, sir.
So how was it like, man, growing up in New Jersey? And what was that? Did that have an influence in your music?
It did. It did. It was a strange kind of influence because where I grew up, I wasn't. I was a street guy. Jarizi, what up? True words, what up? Um, I was. I was never. I considered myself a street guy because I was always out there, but I was never really a hood guy. I came up in a very nice section of Perth Amboy, but here's the irony, though. Here's the irony. The area where I grew up is a very hidden situation when it comes to the slave trade in America. So there's always been a legend of my hometown being in Jersey. Well, Jersey as a whole, but my hometown in particular in New Jersey, being haunted, due to this. The city where I was born was a city 100 years before America became a country. This is how far back
Yeah,
it goes, and the street where I grew up, even though it was the most affluent in the city, very small city, just a 2.5 mile radius, it was the area where trafficked Africans were brought to the States, and it was brought right up the street, and the street's named High Street, and right on High Street is a circle in the street, and it's called Market Square. And at Market Square, that's where we were sold. We were what was being sold at that market. And right there at Market Square, Maurice, what's up, brother? Right at Market Square is the first city hall in America, the City Hall of Perth Amboy, New Jersey. You also had the Royal Governor's Mansion right in that area. So even though I came up well, you know, my folks did well for themselves, it was still very dark. It's a very dark presence there, and I even though I had a crew with me all the time, Third World Posse, my people, I was always known as a loner. And, you know, being in those streets alone, the darkness, the cemetery, the history, you know, you kind of hear that in my music. I have a darker side to what I do, and you know, all that kind of influenced the music.
Wow, wow, that's amazing. That's amazing. That's amazing. So, would you say was it the production that started first, or was it the rapping? Because I saw you played the drums.
Yeah. Well, I started playing the instrument stuff a little later on in life because early on I didn't really get to indulge the way I wanted to because at that, you know, early coming up, I went to my mother put me in a Catholic school, and
Yeah.
that also kind of contributed to the dark feel influence because the Roman Catholic Church is not very musical. It's not like the Baptist Church and people are playing and doing
True,
stuff.
true,
Roman
true.
Catholics is just like, you
Yeah,
know, and just
yeah,
big dark church with the organs
yeah,
dark and everything, you know.
yeah.
So I had no choice but to kind of, you know, vibe with that. And I wanted to go to public school to get into marching band and things like that. And my mom wasn't having it. And by the time I got to high school, I went to public high school, but by the time I went there, it was all the prerequisites to play in the band and things like that were all messed up because I didn't have any training at that time. So it wasn't until later on, like in my late teens, early 20s, that I started really getting on instruments and stuff like that. But when I did, I started excelling, you know. So it was before that, because of that, just, you know, just so you know, because of all that, that's what made my attachment to hip hop so strong because I didn't have a musical outlet that I wanted to
Oh,
express when it came to like instruments or other things. So, you know, DJing became like the first thing that I got into. And I was DJing, and a couple of friends of mine who are still my people to this day, Third World Posse, what up? My man C Quest, Diab, you know what I mean? All my people out in Jersey. You know, these guys wanted to start a rap group, and we started a little rap group. It was called Styling and Profiling. That's how far back it go.
oh,
You know, you hear that
yeah.
styling and profiling. Also, that's some more, that's some classic hip
Oh,
hop
true.
stuff. Yo, we
Yeah.
just, you know, but I was supposed to be the DJ, but these guys weren't really moving or writing the rhymes. So I just went ahead and, you know, I was so hungry and driven. I started writing rhymes for them. I didn't know what the hell I was doing, you know,
Wow.
and that's kind of how it began, you know.
For sure. For sure. For sure. For sure. Plus, I mean, because like I was checking, like, was it the first one? Was it what? Was it something? Wait, was it Truth Be Told, right?
Truth be told,
Yeah.
woo,
How did that start?
wow. Well, truth be told, that was um, that was like my second. full length kind of project, you know. I had done collaborations before that, and then my first independent release was called Stillborn Lives or Stillborn Lives.
Yeah, I
Right.
see it, I see
But
it, yeah.
right. But truth be told was very significant because when I that record was done with Shaman Work Records. Shaman Work
Right.
Records was ran by um a brother Chris Kraft, who's heavy dude. And at that time when I did that record, I was label mates with CL Smooth,
Whoa,
MF Doom,
whoa,
um, Aloe Black to some degree. You know, my man John Robinson from Science of Life, he's the one that kind of put that together. And, you know, we had some wheels behind that project. And it was the first time I got to feel some public relations happening behind that project. And there was just a lot of momentum going on when we dropped that record. When I had recorded that, I had recorded most of that in the Black Entertainment Television studios in New York City, where I was the audio engineer of at that time. So,
yeah,
you know, to be sitting up, I'm talking about years of struggling, brother.
sure,
You know what I'm saying, Ecliptic? Like,
yeah,
years of struggling and finally turning the corner. Now I'm in an office in New York City, overlooking New York and listening to these gritty beats and getting on a nice microphone and in my own studio and doing this while doing major television productions. It was a lot of energy. It was a lot going on, and that project, a lot of people gravitated to that project.
for sure, for sure, for sure. Because I also remember you were saying that like your music is also influenced like all kind of different genres. So like who would you say like okay, within the hip hop space, who would you say are the artists that influenced you, and even outside of the hip hop space?
Yeah, sure. Well, starting with the hip hop stuff, and I'm kind of bad with favorites, so
Mm.
I can't say I have a favorite, but it's pretty obvious, if you know anything about that hip hop '90s era. Of course, the go tos like the Gang Stars and the KRS
Yeah,
Ones and the
yeah,
Big Daddy Kanes and the Nas's and things of that nature. Um, but even before that, if I had to go a little earlier, folks like Just Ice and
yeah,
Super Lover C and Casanova Rudd, stuff like that was De La Soul, Heavy D. You know that era is just sits deep in my heart. I'll never let it go. You know, outside of hip hop though, and hip hop is borrowing from everything. So I'm a very eclectic listener of music. I listen to everything, and when I say everything, I mean everything, from country to death metal. I'll listen to all of it. I can hear it. I can see what's going on. I can hear the energy behind it. I can make sense out of it. Um, so I'm a very, very eclectic music listener. I listen to everything, and given the chance, I can probably produce just about anything.
for sure. Because I mean, also, I mean, you've collaborated with so many great artists. Like every artist would love to work with. Do you think like there are also other artists that you'd also love to collaborate with? That you look up to, that you've mentioned.
Um, yeah, of course, man. Well, if I had to use current examples of my desire to collab. I mean, most of the stuff that I've done the last 2 years have been heavy collaboration work. I don't know when I have another solo release in sight. I have singles that I've put out, but most of my work has been collaboration work. One that just released today with
Yeah,
my brother Mike Hoffa, Pay Dues,
yeah.
streaming on
Shout
all
out to
platforms.
him.
Shout out to Mike Hoffa. He was in the chat a minute ago. They're in and out of here. We've been at it all day. We just been connecting and responding, chatting, showing love, receiving love all day. So even though everyone may not be here, I'm pretty sure they're going to check this on the back end, and this will be around for people to check out. But you know, I have a project with Mike Hoffa in the works, Blue Collar Rap, that should be dropping in a matter of weeks. I got a project with my brother True Words called The Statement. Just wicked, wicked record. You know, we just dropped my favorite song that's streaming on all platforms with True Words. His most saved song to date, which is a big deal because he garners a very strong following and a lot of streams. I just did a record with one of my heroes, and we want to go back to heroes, my man Cy Martial Law and Hakeem Green from Channel Live, you know, Sparking Madism. You know, I mean, this is a dude that I've worked with for some time, but never worked with him musically. And to be on a record with him now, it just it feels awesome. You know, he's like the closest I've got to working with KRS-One. Cy Martial Law, of course, has worked with KRS and a lot of other people. You know, I got to work with, you know, folks like Tame One and, you know, Milk Bone. What up, Milk Bone? You know, so, you know, Chris Prolific, you know, working with people, collaborating with people is really the nuts and bolts of what an artist is about. So when it comes to working with someone, I won't hesitate. I like having that other energy, you know, to help you because, pardon me, let's face it, you know, it's life is very demanding today, especially, you know, we hear about what's going on in Johannesburg and all that stuff, man. You know, it's, you know, the hustle is real. We know what's going on. You know, the hustle's real. In the States, the hustle is threefold. And, you know, I'm just getting off of work right now. We tried to set up the time. You said 8 o'clock. I said 9. I got the robe on, not even shaved up. You know what I mean? Blue collar rap. This is how we're doing it. You know, it's just, it's real like that. When you can collaborate with someone, they take some of the load off, you know, they make it a little easier. And then you're giving people variety at a time when, you know, there's just so much individualism going on. And that's the beauty between our team now known as the GOAT Squad. You know, we have taken this to another level by creating a collective that works together, collaborates together, and supports one another in a group fashion in order to give people not only variety, but to give each other support in our own individual endeavors. So, you know, it was a pretty long answer to your question, but you could see that collaboration is a huge part, is probably everything that I'm about, even before K-Banger, the solo artist and all that stuff, you know. I enjoy mixing and engineering other people's music. You know, even if I'm not on the song, I'm still collaborating. I engineer a lot of stuff for King Virtue and GOAT Squad, a lot of his records, a lot of the stuff that we've done. Mike Hoffa, you know, all these guys, man. So soon, you know, mixing all, mastering their stuff, and I enjoy the performances. I enjoy stepping away from the mic and the writing to make other people sound good. You know, collaboration is. I'm very, very passionate about collaborating.
For sure. So I guess that's what inspired you to be doing all the promos and stuff like that.
Absolutely. The promos, you mean as far as like the VOs and things like that, the voiceovers? Yeah. You know, that kind of happened by accident, but it is something that it is it's collaborative in nature, because you have people that are writing scripts and they have a spot, of what we call a spot, like a PSA, a public service announcement that they want to bring to life, a message they want to get across. So, you know, I like to be a one-stop shop for people that need support, in addition to creating artistic expressions that people can enjoy. it's all communication to me, and that's why I can kind of move around all these things. Professionally during the day, I work in the event space, and I work with in mostly in the hotels, but I've worked in other areas as well to create events and live show stuff, sound and video and things to make events come to life, lighting. And some of it is not always musical. Some of it is more corporate in nature. But I
Yeah.
take this talent that I've developed within hip hop, within other artists and other people, and I take that and I apply it to the corporate space and help them get their message across, whether it's live or recorded or both. So, yes, the collaboration helps in all those endeavors. But it started with hip
Right.
hop, though. Hip hop is a great uh, culture that develops your social ability to communicate, and then intertwine that with technology and professional presentation. So, if you ask me. So yeah.
For sure. Plus, I mean, I saw you did something with BET. How was that like? I mean, for your career.
Well, do you know about BT? Do you have BT out in
Yeah, yeah,
Africa?
yeah. We got
You do?
BT. Yeah, yeah, we got BT. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Well, I
It's
gotta.
just that it's
Yeah.
just that I forgot to check the I forgot to watch the awards and stuff like that.
Okay, right, right. Well,
Yeah,
yeah, I don't do. Well, ironically, I haven't owned a TV in years.
yeah,
Yeah, I don't watch it. I don't want it. But
yeah.
I did work in it, and I gotta tell you, brother, working in BET was life changing.
Right.
Um, the amount of talent I was exposed to, people I probably would have never seen before. Um, Working there, doing films, doing all type of creative expression. My old friend Kane USA was there at the time, and he brought me on board, and he was editing video at the time, and I didn't really know what they were doing, but I knew they had a need for video help and audio help, and my contribution was more audio than anything else. But audio editing in that industry is extremely, extremely important. It's kind of elusive because a lot of people don't know where to go and apply for a job like that. I never applied for that. It was a friend that brought me in there. I managed to get in there, and it lasted for about 5 years. But in that 5 years, it was very exponential. A lot happened. Um, and the things that I did, the things that I learned, the things that I created at that time, even the executives and people that I worked with, they knew that it was that I was bringing something special to the network, and I wish it would have went further. It didn't, and again, we've seen a lot happen in the USA that has changed things that have gone on here. I went through that. Jay
Yeah.
Storm, what up, my brother? Um, I went
You
through
have
that.
just uh,
I went through that, and I went through those changes, and it wasn't easy. But I still have a lot of very good friends that I met from there. I met my wife there, my ex-wife now. We have a son. My son came out of that situation. It was a very it was a very special time. Those things that it was something that I had worked for a very long time. And my grandmother used to say that she used to joke that you skipped a step because with the stuff that with the stuff I was doing, it was um, it was more like I was pursuing a record deal or something like that.
yeah,
This was much bigger than that. It was a lot more than that. I was licensing music to the network. I was doing audio for them. I was the voice of the network for some time. You probably heard my voice over and over again on that network some time ago, even though this was a long time. It was like 10, 15 years ago.
yeah,
But
yeah, yeah.
you probably heard me on there or some music of mine or both over and over again. And I learned a lot, and some of the people that I worked with then, I still currently work with to this day.
Word, word. That's amazing. That's
Yeah.
amazing. So yeah, man. Definitely. So I also saw like uh, consecutively been doing the whole WAP tour. Are you still doing any tours?
Well, I'm glad you asked that. Yes, the Warp Tour was a wild experience. That was the first time I did consecutive dates like that on a tour leg where you're kind of independently pushing yourself. A lot of work, a lot.
Yeah.
I made a lot of good friends there, experienced a lot of good, opened up for a lot of acts there. Speaking of tours, I got to make another special mention to the Goat Squad family.
Shout out
These
to the squad.
the Goat Squad, man, and make sure y'all, hey, y'all in Africa and all around the world, make sure y'all
Yeah,
go to the App Store on your phone and download the Goat Squad app. You
for sure.
can you have a Goat Squad app and you can get it on Google Play or iTunes App Store. Down just type in Goat Squad app. It will come right up and you can get updates from all of us there. You can stay tuned with what we're doing. You can follow us here at theofficialgoats.com. You can check me out if you want to kind of make it easier for yourself and hit me up at kbanger.com. But the Goat Squad, thanks to our brother Soon, um,
For sure.
he opened up the door to connect us with a great booking agency known as Full Blast Booking. And just over the summer, they opened up. I wasn't there, I wasn't present, but I did work on the show tape, and I was kind of there in spirit because they let one of my verses play in the show. It was crazy. But
Yeah.
just in August, they did about 5 dates in 5 different cities, all for fundraising for
Wow.
mental health, and it was a dope cause. And but in those shows they opened up for classics like Ghostface Killer, they opened up for Rod Digger, they opened up for
Wow.
Cannabis,
Wow.
Afro. It was
Woo.
insane. So they they
Yeah.
did they did that, and now there's more dates coming. And now that you asked, these aren't dates that I'm not going to be on, but I would like to mention this just to represent for my Goat Squad family. Um,
Big
in
ups.
November, early November, the 3rd through the 6th, they are celebrating. You ready for this? They're celebrating the
Yeah.
30th anniversary of CL Pete Rock and CL Smooth T Roy. They reminisce over
Wow.
you.
Woo.
30
Troy.
years. Troy, man, they are celebrating 30 years of this monumental record. It's beautiful to see that they can go back that far in that era and
Yeah.
still have people come out and celebrate that music. Um,
Yeah.
we have Goat Squad members that will be opening up for some of these dates on this
Yeah.
uh, on this tour. So soon, and my brother Tony Dimes will be on one set, and
Yep.
Mike Hoffa and
Yep.
Gons will be on
Yep.
another set. So we will have full Goat Squad representation doing something unique. It's not the whole Goat Squad. It's
Yeah.
So Soon and Tony Dimes on one show, Mike Hoffa and Gons on the other show in
Yeah.
about 4 different cities. And if you want more information, all you have to do is go to fullblastbooking.net,
For sure.
fullblastbooking.net, and you'll see the dates. But after that, you can come see the Goat Squad in mass on December 3rd in Woodbridge, Connecticut at
Word.
10 Selden. All right, that's 10 Selden Street. The name of the venue is 10 Selden, Woodbridge, Connecticut, December 3rd. I will be there with the Goat
Big
Squad.
ups.
All right, and you can get more information at fullblastbooking.net. And also just join me at kbanger.com. Join my mailing list and I'll keep you updated because around this date, we're going to do other dates as well. We'll have an itinerary. We'll be in the tri-state area rocking for y'all. We'll have the footage. And again, you can, if you don't believe me, go check for yourself at the official goats here on Instagram, and you can see the footage that they did from the tour. And stay tuned and follow us for more information on these dates coming up.
For sure. Yeah, we'll definitely check it out. Also, we'll also try and post it here on our platforms also.
That
The
would be
links and
that
stuff.
would be brother. That would be incredible, and I look
Yeah.
forward to that. And I also looking
Yes.
forward to having you locked in with the whole Goat Squad, so you could check
Yeah.
out their music. I can tell. I know my African brothers sisters love that real hip hop,
Yep.
and we got
True
it,
that.
and we got it. And guess what? We don't only have the boom bap hip hop. We
Yeah.
got the trap hip hop. We got the
Yeah.
soul hip hop. We got the
Sure.
hard hip hop. We got that street
Sure.
hop. We got that. We got it all. We got it all. So
For
you ain't
sure.
missing
For sure.
nothing with Goat Squad, man. You're getting every flavor of hip hop you can imagine. So I would love to put
For
you in
sure.
contact with all them brothers and sisters and get some time to talk to them and experience their music, man. And we would like
For
to
sure.
love to help you spread your mission to our brothers and sisters in Africa and the motherland for real.
True that. True that. True that. Because I love what you guys are doing. So yeah, because the purpose of this platform was just to make you guys be able to spread your music without any third party, you know what I'm saying, interfering, you know what I'm saying, so that you guys can be able to do it and express it yourself. And if you probably have anyone you wanna collaborate with this side on my side, I'd also love to link you guys up. I wouldn't mind.
Absolutely. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
For sure, for
Absolutely.
sure, for sure, for sure. So yeah, man, I guess you'll send me the links, you'll send me the pics, man, and we'll just share it on our platforms here and even on Facebook we'll share it and stuff like that.
That's awesome. Yeah, I'd really appreciate that. I got a quick question
For
for
sure.
you.
Yeah,
I would like to know, your and what you have to say about hip hop and your part of Africa and what it looks like to you and how artists over there move around and do their thing.
yeah, man. Well, there are some similarities. I mean, considering okay, with my country, when it started in Cape Town, um, it was mostly inspired by the situation that happened when we were still in the apartheid state. You know what I'm saying? I think that was like 81, 82. So that's when hip hop music um begins in South Africa. So from those eras you have the political guys like the POC, Prophets of the City, and many other artists, um that spoke about the conditions that were going on. Um, from time going on throughout the 90s, it was all boom bap and stuff, Um, so even but now, it's now recognized. It's now that commercial type of music, and it's
Of course.
mostly, the trap music dominating in the mainstream era. But that boom bap type of music is still alive within the underground, and also the soul for hip hop is also still alive,
Of course.
Um, just last weekend, we had Back to the City, which is like one of the biggest hip hop events in Africa. So so yeah, it's evolving to something that is very great. So for me, like I was just trying to there were some challenges. I feel like there are some challenges there, like
Sure.
with independent artists in my country getting um the recognition that they deserve and stuff like that. So that was the main purpose why I created Hip Hop Nation TV. But it's time when I was doing interviews, um I also got like um guys from your side, and they were also sharing their experience with me. So I thought, oh, okay, so clearly, um, we have those similar challenges. You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
Um, you know, not just music, but even being excluded because of our color and things like that.
Sure. Yes.
So yeah, I felt like not just making it a South African thing, but just making it an international thing because hip hop is like a global culture, you know.
Yes, sir.
Um, yeah, and I felt like, it seems like whatever this elite 1% elite that we're facing is just we're all facing it. We all we all like it's all like this 1% is all against us,
Yeah. Right.
whether
Yes. Yes. Right.
it's my
Yes.
country or your country or wherever, you know. So I feel like if all of us are united globally, then we have a stronger voice, and um we might be able to make some changes.
Man, it's a,
That's
this. I'm telling you, this right now is amazing. Um,
yeah.
one other thing, I wanted to know how did you find us?
Yeah, I was checking who was it? I don't know if I because the thing is I've done so many interviews. Like I've done Rusty Chooks, I've done Ty
Yes.
Phoenix, I've done um who's the other international artist? Like there's so many international artists.
Yes.
So like it's like the more
Those,
I
those are
keep
those are big names. Those are big, no, very
yeah,
notable
yeah,
names.
yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah. So like it's like the more I keep interviewing these international artists, then my Instagram account just keeps showing so many of the underground MCs and stuff like that. So yeah. So
Yeah.
I think I remember seeing yours and then somewhere along the line, then I just clicked into it. I was like, oh Keith, yeah. I was so excited, man.
That's awesome. It's incredible, incredible. I mean,
Yeah,
more than anything else, more than the commercial pursuits and things like that,
yeah,
making these connections is what hip hop
yeah,
is about to me. Um,
yeah,
I don't really know where things can go. And I'm not an opportunistic guy,
yeah,
so I'm not looking for money in everything I'm doing, but we're
yeah,
trying to make sense out of this thing. Like you said it, you said something very key. We're facing um, a struggle, and
yeah,
people are suffering.
yeah,
Somewhere within this expression, you have a response to that.
yeah,
You have this expression being birthed out
yeah,
of that, starting in the
yeah,
South Bronx and what was going on there. And then what you had
yeah,
said, is that this connection between apartheid and the rise of hip
yeah,
hop, kind of speaking
yeah,
to these situations. So
yeah,
it's only natural that in making these connections, we can address some of these things. And I feel it's an honor to
yeah,
speak to you and to have you reach out to me in this way to spread this, to spread what we're doing to your people
yeah,
out
yeah,
there and whoever you're connected to
yeah,
internationally. It means a
yeah,
lot, and I hope that even if we don't end up doing some kind of business deal or anything like that, what I would hope
yeah,
is that the expression just inspires people to kind of find out more and listen to people's stories, and that the music
yeah,
moves you and inspires you and keeps you going in your everyday life.
yeah. Because like some of like the artists they tell me like behind my back like they saw some artists that I interviewed with and they were able to do music together. So for me like that was amazing for me because that's just what I wanted.
Yes, sir.
You know.
Yeah, indeed, indeed.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Because like even because growing up, I remember seeing, I don't know if it was, they were saying like one of them, the American presidents was saying that, they have this mission that they don't want black people in Africa and black people out of Africa to unite. Because if they do unite, then, it's something, you know.
You know what?
So, and I could witness that because, one of our greatest singers, um, Mama Miriam Makeba, um, when she when she when she met Stokely Carmichael, was it Kwame
Mm,
Tore? I mean, and the Harry Belafonte and stuff like that,
Mm,
she was able to voice out the conditions that happen in our country and things like that. So it made me understand things like that. You know what I'm saying? Because even like a couple of months ago, when I saw, was it Malcolm X's daughter on the Flat TV show, stuff like that,
yes. You
and she
see?
was saying, yeah, she was saying her father, Malcolm, he was already connecting with other African states and things like that a week before him being assassinated. So that was very interesting to me. So that's when I saw like, oh, okay, so this enemy that we're fighting is it's one. So yeah, that's what's up. But
King,
Keith, man, I'm grateful
yeah, yo, for real. I definitely
for this,
appreciate it.
man.
King Virtue, what up, my
For
brother?
sure.
That Gold Squad
King,
up in here.
King,
Yeah, King Virtue's
for
up in
sure,
here,
for
man.
sure. Yeah,
Yes, sir.
yeah. I saw his music too, and Mike Hoffa, and
Oh
yo,
man,
man,
it's
yo,
off the chain. King Virtue has been my friend. I met him at BET, and
yeah,
he reached out to me after the pandemic, during the pandemic, to say, "Hey, it's
yeah,
time now." And
yeah,
I hadn't spoke to him in years, and here we are now, in Africa, in the building right now. Gold Squad in
for sure.
Africa. This is where we at. KBanger.com in
Yeah,
Africa. Listen, brother, we're
yeah,
gonna keep this going for life, and I appreciate you
for
taking the
sure,
time. Um, let's keep it pushing, man. We here.
for sure, man. I appreciate you guys. Maybe if you guys do come, you know, we'll we'll plan something
Well, that's
definitely.
then maybe that's the next move. I think this is a seed that's going to be planted. The next thing you
For
know,
sure,
we'll have a Goot Squad in Johannesburg, and we'll have a big celebration with all the wonderful
for
artists
sure,
out there. Shout out to all my
for sure,
African artists out in South
for
Africa,
sure,
man. I know there's a lot of MCs out there, a lot of talent
for sure,
out there.
for sure.
For real, y'all. Peace.
Much love. Peace, man.
Peace, my brother. Hey,
Peace.
hey, listen, y'all tune in tomorrow. I'm gonna be live on tomorrow. Some of these brothers will be in the building. Tony INC, what up, Goat Squad? I'll
What
be
up,
talking to
Tony?
Mike Hoffa tomorrow. Come through. Hey, Cliptic, man, maybe we might have to do an interview on my platform for you, man. Let's bring your platform to America and talk about what you're doing, man.
Thanks, man. I appreciate it.
Yes,
Just
sir.
let me know when you're free, and then we'll do it.
Yes,
And
sir, man. Hip Hop Nation TV, man. One love, for real.
much love, much love. Keep
Peace.
banger.
Yes,
Yeah,
sir.
beautiful
Peace.
brother, for sure.
Peace.
Yo, guys, that was amazing. That was amazing. Yo, keep banger. Yo, it's a legend, guys. I still feel like I'm dreaming. Yo, Gold Squad, shout out. King Virtue, shout out, Mr. Tony, INC, shout out, guys. Man, I hope we'll have time to interview you guys. Mike Hoffa also. Oh man, this is amazing, guys. This is amazing. This is amazing. Um, guys, shout out for you guys for watching our show. I appreciate it. Anyone also that's gonna be watching also I appreciate it, guys. Much love. Shout out Keith. Um, yeah, guys, you can support our shows on Buy Me a Coffee. If you want to check the other previous interviews, if you want it in audio format, we are available in Buzzsprout. So basically, um, Buzzsprout provides, it actually supplies us with all the distribution sites. So you can find also our interviews on all the distribution sites if you want to just listen to it through audio. For those who hardly have the time to check out the video and stuff like that. But if you do have the time to check out our interviews on the video, then you can check here on Instagram. You can check it on also on YouTube. So Hip Hop Nation TV. You can also follow me on my other Instagram account, Ecliptic. That's where you'll find my music. So yeah, I've currently released Blood Moon 2, Morning Lasagna. I've done a track with Dantilia from Austria. So yeah, so you guys can check my music there if you wanna listen to my music. But anything than that, yo, guys, appreciate y'all.
Peace. One love.